Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to a little impromptu stream this morning. We're going to be going for about an hour or so here. And I do have another video that is actually completely rendered and ready to go, and we'll be releasing later today. It's not really a time-sensitive video per se, unless something really crazy happened today. Then it might be time-sensitive. But so look forward to that. I got a nice little video coming out later. We finally get to talk about some Zelda stuff. It's going to be great. Well, I always like talking Zelda stuff. I don't really need an excuse for that, do I? So how you guys doing? I don't know how many people are going to be checking out the stream. I don't do a lot of morning streams like this, and I didn't really do any build-up for it. But obviously, we have a couple people in the chat. John is here, as well as Sonic Man the Best. Nice podcast with you the other day, man. I'm working on the audio version. Hopefully have that done today to get that out to iTunes people. I know that we've had some people messaging me about, hey, when are the audio versions going to be coming back to iTunes and all that? They're coming. I have the last 2 episodes I need to get done. I know I've been I've been really slacking. But it's okay. I'm just trying to get back into a flow here. Sonic Man says, I saw uploaded but did not see the notification from YouTube. Yeah, isn't that weird? Notifications on YouTube are just really funky. And my channel's not blacklisted or anything, so there's no reason for it not to send notifications. But I don't know. Maybe it unbell iconed you or something, Sonic Man. It's weird. But anyways, obviously I have at least one topic I want to talk about a little bit in this stream. Otherwise, it's just a Q&A or whatever you guys feel like wanting to chat about. What's up, Batnav? Welcome to the stream. So one thing that I did want to bring up, this is just a brief, because it affects Switch as well. So there is some reports going on out there that PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X or Series S or whatever other versions end up being there at launch will be delayed out of this year. And the reason for the report is basically the coronavirus. So the entirety of PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, all of the stock for these platforms are made in China. And the outbreak there of the coronavirus is very, very big deal. There are a number of deaths from it. It does not have a cure. The thing about the coronavirus is it's kind of like it came from an animal apparently, but it's like a strain of the cold, which we all know there's no cure for the common cold. And it's a strain that is very, very serious, and you need immediate medical attention to be treating all of the side effects and the symptoms from it. And then obviously our bodies should eventually be able to fight it off and create its own antibodies to fight it off. We don't have any vaccines or anything we could take for it at this time. Research is still being done, of course, and it's obviously one of the big outbreaks going on in the world right now, mostly centered in China. There's been some cases in the U.S. and other countries as well, but it's not considered was it an epidemic or a pandemic? I can't remember. One of those is a worldwide thing. One of those is just a localized thing, and right now it's only the localized. The World Health Organization has it as a localized threat in China and a minor threat elsewhere. But what's happening is obviously that a lot of manufacturing in China is slowing down, and this is going to be affecting a lot of businesses since China makes, to be honest, almost a vast majority of the products we enjoy here in the United States. And PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X are rumored to be affected by this, and the supply chains being affected, and that's going to lead to the platforms being delayed into next year. We don't know. It's possible that they might just launch them on time and just know they're not going to have a lot of stock, so they just know they're going to be out of stock real quick. So that obviously is going to make getting pre-orders even more important. You know, there's always been the should you pre-order things? Does it really matter? But in this case, to be honest, if you really want a PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X, because of what's happening with the manufacturing lines due to the coronavirus, it might actually be advantageous to pre-order this time around and try to lock down a system for you day one, because they're probably going to be more limited supply even if they do come out on time. But again, these are just kind of speculative reports because we know the manufacturing lines are being affected, and this does actually affect Nintendo Switch as well. However, Switch is affected a little bit differently because Nintendo, about a year or so ago, opened up new manufacturing lines for the Switch outside of China. In Taiwan and some other countries, and they did this because they were worried about some of the pricing in China, and there was some questionable places they might have been getting their supplies from and stuff. And they still do have factories in China making Switches, but all the supply for the U.S. does not come from China anymore. So all of the consoles we get for Switch in the U.S. are not based in where the coronavirus is hitting. So the U.S. supply chain hasn't really been that negatively impacted. The Japan supply chain for Switch, on the other hand, has been negatively impacted because they are getting all of their systems from China. But we'll see what happens. Nintendo's much better positioned right now to maintain production because they already have factories outside of China, and they could just expand on those factories if they really need to, and up the supply outside of the China factories until the coronavirus is kind of handled and gone away. But there might be other Switch accessories and stuff. Maybe the Pro controllers are still all made in China or something that could be negatively impacted worldwide. But it's interesting to think that the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X could be delayed, not because there's anything necessarily wrong with the platforms, but just because there's actually something happening in the real world out here that is making it hard to make enough of the consoles that they might want to be available at launch. Because when you're launching in a holiday period, yes, you realize you're probably going to sell out and everything, but you want to sell as many as you can, and you want to keep the supply chains healthy after launch. You don't want to be like, oh, they're all sold on launch day, and then we don't even have any more units for like 2 months. You don't want that to happen, and I think that's a fear and could lead to the delay of the launch of the systems. But nothing's official. We haven't even had a PlayStation 5 reveal event. At least we've seen what the Xbox Series X looks like, even though we need a full reveal event for that as well. So I think all those events are a go for this year, and they're going to keep pubbing it up. And who knows, there might not be a delay at all. It's just that just understanding the real world impact of the coronavirus, and if it continues to be an epidemic or whatever throughout the course of this year, and is very, very hard to maintain. I think a lot of people are assuming once we get out of certain cycles of the seasons in China that maybe it'll die down, but we don't really know because it's airborne, and people aren't even aware they have it because all the symptoms are so similar to just like the common cold, and the common cold is a threat in that of itself, but it's not like this. People generally don't die, especially adults, from the common cold. But this is obviously a much more deadly animal-borne strain of the cold. And I feel for people suffering from it. And I wish them all a speedy recovery. And I hope that the supply chains can be restored. And then more importantly, the people that have it, the 25,000, 30,000, the numbers are going up every day, that have this, that they survive and can get back to their families and be in good health, and that the World Health Organization, the CDC, and everyone else working hard to try to contain this and try to find some way to treat it, that even if it's not a vaccine, because as I said, we have no cure for the common cold because it evolves too fast. That we can find some way that's safe to treat it with over-the-counter drugs or whatever. That can at least help with the symptoms and help you survive the symptoms of it. Let me see here. We have Camille Nowhere is here. I do not know how to speak that language. Sorry. Sweet Life of Dio Brando is here. Major Ben as well. Yahoo sent notifications, but not my traditional way of Yahoo sent notifications. It's like your Yahoo email or whatever. Hey, he's live. Problem is, it seems even more concentrated in Wuhan, China. Even though more people in the U.S. die from influenza flu, I think it may have to do with China's population. China has obviously a high concentration of people. They literally have like a third of the world's population or something like that lives in China. So they have a higher concentration of people. That makes things more likely to spread quickly. And then obviously there's questions about the healthcare and how good the healthcare is there compared to here. Yes, more people in the U.S. die from influenza because the flu is a very serious thing. And I'm not saying that you need to go get your flu vaccine. Some people have adverse reactions to flu vaccines, and I get it. I get vaccinated most years. I actually was just vaccinated, a little late in the season. I was just vaccinated about a week ago for the flu vaccine. And whatever, you guys can have your personal beliefs on that, but obviously I'll take all the precautions I can to not deal with a potentially life-threatening thing, because even treatments for the flu don't always work. I mean, depending on how the strain evolves in your body, it could take you out, and it's only gonna get worse as you get older. For me, it's a lot easier to deal with when you're younger. But again, this is obviously a big deal and affects the manufacturing lines. Let's see here. Major Ben says, I've been put off buying the Switch since the announcement that there might not be a Switch Pro soon. I feel I don't want to invest money into games as it won't compete with next gen at all. Well, here's the thing, Major Ben, and this is irregardless of a more powerful Switch if it comes this year. If it doesn't come this year, a Switch 2 in a couple of years or whatever. What are you talking about competing with next gen? The reason, the primary reason to get a Switch Pro. Let me grab some games here. So the primary reason to get a Switch Pro are for like the games it already has. Or a Switch in general. Donkey Kong Country Returns for some reason this year. Where's my other games? I'm missing something. Anyways, the point I'm trying to make here is the reason to get a Switch at all is for the games that are already there. This is just a pro. This is a pro tip for consumers in general, and I'm not your average consumer because I'm kind of a techie. That's why I like getting consoles and stuff day one, even though I realize you kind of become part of a beta program and you deal with day one problems like the sticks on PlayStation 4 or bend gate with Switch and all that. Anyways, the point I'm making here is that you should only buy a Switch if it already has enough of the games you want to play to justify your purchase. You shouldn't be buying it because you're thinking about the future. Always buy a platform thinking about what it already has and if you will be satisfied with that purchase when you make it based on what's already available. Not based on what's promised, not based on what you're worried about the competition is doing, based on what's already there. And if Switch does not have the library of games to entice you to buy it already, does not to make you satisfied with that purchase, then don't buy a Switch. It's really that simple. If you're not already satisfied with what's on Switch, which if you're a Nintendo fan, I don't know how you can't be satisfied at least a little bit. There's something for everyone. Then don't buy one. Now if you're buying it for third-party games, I understand that. But again, same concept. Are the third-party games you want to play on Switch already there and enough of them to justify the purchase? And if not, then don't buy it. If you're worried about future support, well, here's the thing. You can always worry about future support. Let's say that everything on Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 comes to PlayStation 4 and the OG Xbox for the next 2 years, and in turn also comes to Switch, right? Okay, that might give you some confidence, but then you'll get a game, right? We'll get NBA 2K20 because I'm sure we're gonna get that game anyways, or we'll get the next Street Fighter or something. We'll start getting some of these third party games. Let's say in this year or next year, and then you can always keep thinking, oh, but what about the future? Oh, but what about if you're always thinking about what about the future? We don't know what the future holds. We don't know about Switch Pro. We don't know about a Switch 2. We don't know what third-party support is going to look like next year or the year after or the year after or 4 months from now. We do not know what it's going to look like. What we do know is this year we're getting Doom Eternal. We're getting the Outer Worlds at some point. Now we're getting a physical version because they felt bad they had to delay it also because of the coronavirus. We know that some of the third-party games are already going to get this year, and we know about the third-party games already on the platform. So if that's why you're thinking about buying a Switch, does it already have the games you want to play on it? Enough of them to justify the purchase. If not, don't buy one. Same thing for PlayStation, Xbox, and everything else. You really, as a general consumer, unless you're like me and a big techie and like having the latest, greatest thing day one, should never pick up a platform of any type until it has enough of content you already there that you want to do. Like, as an example, when Blu-ray players came out, you shouldn't buy a Blu-ray player unless there's enough of the movies you enjoy on Blu-ray that you want to buy to justify buying a Blu-ray player. Same thing with video game consoles. Yeah, I mean, if you're always worried about the future, I think that's just the wrong way to look at buying a platform. I know it's nice to think, oh, I bought a PlayStation 5 day one, I'm good for the next 5-6 years. Are you? They might not satisfy you with the games. You might not get the games you want. And you might have wished you bought an Xbox or you bought a Switch or something. So, again, wait till there's enough games to justify that. For some people, it just takes one game. Even if I wasn't someone who liked tech, Breath of the Wild alone would have been enough to justify me buying a Switch day one. Now, you could say I had a Wii U, but I want to take it on the go. So, that, being able to take it on the go and being my favorite game of all time, and I got to play it at E3. That really sold me on Breath of the Wild was at E3 of 2016. I knew right then I'm getting Switch day one. I didn't have any pre-orders or anything. I knew right then I was going to get the next-gen platform day one because this was the launch game for it. I just, for some people it's one game. For some people it's 10. For some people it's 20. I don't know what to tell you. You got to kind of figure out for yourself what matters to you in purchasing a system. And to me, I think it's always bad to look towards stuff that hasn't actually happened yet. There could be a promise of games like Breath of the Wild 2, right? We know that game's in development. There's a promise of it. We don't know if it's ever going to actually land on Switch. It could take so long to develop, it doesn't land till the next-gen system. You don't buy things based on the promises, buy it based on what's already there. Just my little pro-consumer tip for buying systems. Sonic Man says, now I thought it was Dave on Twitter that said Sony and Microsoft were going to have consoles made outside of China. It's possible that they're obviously going to look at that too. Nintendo already made that move, so not everything's made in China. I assume Microsoft and Sony would look to make similar moves, or are already looking into making similar moves. Some of it's going to be all about part manufacturing as well. Like you can take you could take your main assembly lines and move them outside of China, but if all of your parts are still made in China, like the individual parts or the CPUs or all that stuff, the chassis, all that stuff is still made in China, you're still going to be delayed by how quickly those parts can be made. And got to remember, another thing is there's contracts in place as well that could also make things a bit more complicated to simply say, oh, let's just build new factories over here, or let's just hire this other company. But you already have a contract in place, and you don't want to break that contract because it could cost you billions of dollars. So there's a lot of factors in play, but I do assume there will be some stuff being made outside of China in the future for Sony and Microsoft. And this might just become a standard with consumer electronic companies, where they start to spread out where their stuff is made, and they still get it made relatively cheap or around for the same cost as they do in China, but they have multiple locations. So if something like this happens again, a breakout or I don't know, something bad, a flood, or like the fires that were happening in Australia and stuff, like if something bad happens, that they can just up their supply at different places, and just go from there. So Nintendo already did that. Not really they didn't do it in anticipation of this. No one had idea this. They did it in anticipation of the hike in taxes the U.S. was throwing at China products. So they said, well, we just won't make our products in China, for the U.S. market, and that ended up working out for Nintendo, really, especially right now. But we don't know what exactly is happening with Microsoft and Sony yet. Because again, so much about this is under wraps right now. PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, we're not even sure exactly which factories are making it, all that jazz. Just that it was talked about in the past that they were being made in China. So, not that the U.S. isn't populated, but compared to China, we're pretty small. We are very small compared to China in terms of population. And China has a lot more money than us do. From the little French I know, it sounds like that person said something about all of the people in the world, and it said, I am something of good or fine life. Oh, that's good. Day one of Switch was no joke one of the best days of my life. Breath of the Wild, dude. Breath of the Wild was just mind-blowing day one. The thing is, you could get it on Wii U, so you could have your mind blown on Wii U as well. You just couldn't take it with you. But man, that was it made the whole purchase worthwhile for me day one. I still have my Masters Edition box sitting over there, and actually I have all the Masters Edition stuff laying around somewhere, the map and everything. I wish I would have been able to get the big one with the sword. How was that called? The special, whatever that was called. But those are so limited in supply. I just couldn't get a pre-order in time for it. I wonder if the coronavirus will affect any other game releases on the Switch or other consoles this year. Well, anything I think Virtuous was the ones working on the port of The Outer Worlds, so any game that Virtuous might have been working on for Switch will obviously be delayed. That's just a given, because they have people on the team and they have themselves or family members directly affected. So that's going to slow down anything. And people might not have known that company was even located in China, but it is, and they do a really good job with their ports. So any other porting companies located in China that port games to Switch could obviously be affected. I'm not sure of any other major one but Virtuous. But I'm sure there are some other ones located in China. So yeah, there could be game delays for them, and obviously any other company that hires companies out of China to do porting or to handle certain versions could see version delays. But who knows? I mean, a lot of AAA third-party companies handle their versions in-house when it comes to PlayStation 4 and Xbox and PC even. But they do often hire out for other platforms, whether it's mobile phones or Switch. stuff like that. And sometimes they do hire out for, you know, Xbox too as well, because they're like, hey, look, we're just going to make the PlayStation version. You guys put it on Xbox for us. Just opened a new assembly line in Wisconsin. So they can say, I helped make the Switch. Yeah, let me quit my job and then go over and work on an assembly line for Nintendo. Hey, I probably get a discount on some stuff. What's up, Mitchell Clyburn? How's it going, man? Hey, I am working on a response, by the way, to your email questions you had, that because you're making an autobiography, whatever crazy thing you're doing about me. I am working on responses to yours, just slowly when I have time, which is very fleeting at the moment. What's up, Abel Diaz Urbina? Hey, Nate, just got here. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing all right. And now my fiance is calling me. So 1 second. Sorry about that. My fiance is sick, so she was just telling me how she was feeling. She's doing all right. All right. So where was I here? Oh, so Major Ben says, thanks so much for the response. I love the Switch and the games on the Switch, and I really want to keep receiving the big AAA titles it's currently receiving. I love the current games. Nice. Yep. I think streaming is just an option until the internet becomes better for everyone. The Big's Man 27. Well, welcome. The Big Is Man 27. Welcome to the stream. I like. Hey, man. Must be a Sony fan. Happy to see some Sony fans up in here, especially with giving my channel name. What makes it Switch to me is I can play games like Assassin's Creed on the go. That's what makes it so special for me, and I hope to keep getting those big titles into next gen. So I think most of us hope that's going to happen. I really hope we get Persona 4 Gold and 5 coming to Switch. Yes, there is a thing out there where like they're gauging if they want to, what the interest is in bringing Persona games to Switch. So that's something that is happening. My video I'm releasing later today isn't about that, but they'll probably be covered in the podcast this week. So stay tuned for that on Thursday. Let me see here. Talking about the Direct, I see. I'm not talking. Oh, you mean it because I was on the phone? Everyone always makes those jokes. Like if I have to mute everything and get on my phone. Oh, geez, Reggie must be on the phone. Although it's not Reggie. I guess Miyamoto. Miyamoto's just directly coming to me, talking broken English. His uncle's second cousin works for Nintendo. I'm getting top secret info. Clayton Miller, how's it going? I thought you were getting separated. Nate Janc, just want to smile, man. No, we're working things out. That's all you need to know for now. When will I get my Super Mario 3D World port? I am waiting. I assume that's happening later this year. Red Chaos 173. How's it going? The Big Is Man 27. I have a Switch as well. I know a lot of people who have PlayStations have a Switch as well. So that's a lot of crossover in the audience there. That's good. I jumped from PC to Switch to PS4 to mobile. I don't have an Xbox, but I have used an Xbox games, or I've used Xbox games on PC. Do you have Game Pass? Well, a lot of the Game Pass games are on PC now. Good to hear about the questions. I was sure you'd get to it. I know you've been. Dude, life's always busy. Parent of 3 kids, multiple jobs, stuff to take care of. It's health, lots of crazy stuff going on. I'm just wondering, how do you record your videos? Do you use a webcam? Used to use a webcam. I've used a webcam for videos like way back in the day, like 3 years ago, and then I was using my phone. Now, phone cameras are more than adequate to make basically any sort of YouTube video you want to make, unless you want to start getting really professional about things. So I can even do 4K 60 FPS videos on this phone, and I can't do that on my camera. But no, I do not use that. I use a Lumix G7. mirrorless camera. It's actually right here. What you're watching me on right now is the Lumix. So if you ever see it like autofocus, that's because I have the wrong setting on the camera right now. So it should be set on a static focus, but it's set on, I think it's set on following my face, and sometimes it loses track of my face, so then the focus goes out for a moment. But I am using a Lumix G7. It's relatively affordable. It's really nice. You can do up to 4K 30 FPS, although I usually just use the 1080p 60 setting. But yeah, that's what I do. I record and live stream from there. The reason I'm able to live stream from it is because I have a 4K capture card, AverMedia 4K capture card in my computer that was graciously donated to me by Advanced Media Network. And I just run, it's got a mini HDMI port on the side that I use a mini HDMI to HDMI converter with a fork, with this. It's a 4K HDMI cable, but it's really just a higher quality HDMI cable into that capture card, and then that's how I can get direct feed like this for streams, or I can directly record to my computer. I also can record to a memory card and put it on the computer as well. I do have a nice memory card for it, and like if I'm streaming Switch goes to an external capture card. I believe it's a HD60. Elgato HD60, and then I run that through a cord into my computer, so then the Switch is going through the external one, and then I'm using the internal capture card with this camera, so you can see crystal clear me with crystal clear gameplay. So it's kind of a nice setup. Not the ideal setup, but it's a nice setup, and it works for me. So yeah, that's what I use. I believe that... Oh, and even like this microphone... This is a really nice mic, AT2035s. I believe that I convinced Player Essence to go with a very similar microphone. I don't know if he got the AT2020 or the AT2035, but he got similar audio equipment to me, and he sounds really good. I mean, this audio equipment is some of the best in the industry in terms of the mic. The mixer is just kind of a mid-range mixer I use, but... And that all... I mean, God, there's so many cords in my office, it's crazy. I'm just being honest. Like, I'm just looking at my mixer alone. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cords running off my mixer right now. I got 2 mic cords running across the floor over here to the desk that we used to use for the podcast, but now we don't. But I still have plans for the desk because there's going to be some unboxings and some other videos I'm going to do from over there. Now that it's not a podcast desk anymore, I got plans. Well, it could become a podcast desk again. There's a long off plan about all of us being in person for the podcast and using the desk, but that's contingent on if I move in the future and stuff. So, let me see here. Wait, it's seriously delayed? Question mark. No, what's happening is the coronavirus has caused a delay in the production lines. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be delayed. It's more so people speculating that they could be delayed because the production lines aren't able to produce as many units right now as PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X want. Plus, people might worry about, hey, look, if I get one at launch, does it have the coronavirus on it? Because it's airborne, and what if someone coughed onto one of the systems? That's always a thing people have fear about. Let me see here. So yeah, that's how I record my videos. Don't use a webcam. I do have a 4K Brio webcam sitting over here in a bucket that I might use if I have a repair video I want to do of a 2DS XL replacing a screen, and it's my daughter's 2DS XL that I want to work on. And a couple other videos where I want like a down shot. I'm debating on taking my 4K Brio and kind of mounting it to the ceiling, pointing down at the desk, so then I can kind of switch over to that and give you guys like an alternative angle on stuff. But right now I don't have that set up, and that 4K one, it's a little iffy. Sometimes it doesn't like to work right. That's why I don't use it very much. I could also use it from multiple angles during live streams as well. So if like Eric's doing something over there and over here, I can do like switch camera angles to Eric, whatever he's doing, switch it back to me, etc. But that's not something I have currently set up, but it is something I can technically do. So that's just another thing out there that's nice to have. The 4K Brio webcam is a really nice webcam. It's just my kids basically broke the original cable for it. And while it's just a USB-C cable with USB 3.1, I have a replacement one, and it just hasn't worked right since. So I don't know. Maybe there was a chip special in the cable with it or something, and they want to charge me an arm and they want to charge me what it basically costs to buy a whole new Brio webcam to get a replacement cable. So whatever. I deal with what I got. Koopa Slayer, I enjoyed your recent videos. Glad to see you're getting back to being yourself again. Thank you so much. Yeah, it does feel good to get back to mostly being myself. Let's see here. Clayton Miller, anyone hyped for the Sonic movie? My 5-year-old and I are going for sure. Dude, you know what was crazy about the Sonic movie? So Yulia noticed it the other day because it has Jim Carrey in it, and she's a big Jim Carrey fan. So that was cool. Like, she saw an ad for it and noticed Jim Carrey was in it. But what's really cool is that my son, right? My son, my middle child, Aiden, he mentioned to me just yesterday that the Sonic movie's coming out and he wants to go to it. And I'm just like, all right. Like, my kids are like, because they're going to school, they're talking with their friends about these things. Like, this is cool. Like, you know, I don't know if the Sonic movie is going to be any good, but it's nice to see my kids are getting to that age now where they're talking with their friends about like these video game movies and stuff going on. It's kind of cool. Let's see here. I have a Switch and I use a PlayStation 4 controller on it. Yep, there's dongles for that. All right. I used Game Pass Trial, but a lot of the games I wanted to play were already on other platforms I own. Nice. This may not be the best place to bring this up, but I'm thinking about starting a podcast similar to you, but cover all the platforms. Still in the early stages. Don't even have a name. Hey, good luck, man. Good luck. That's all I can say. I got really no advice for you. Don't overthink it and just have fun. I've overthunk it too much, which is why there's been like these large gaps between episodes the last however many months. Gotta stop overthinking and just do it. Major Ben, yeah, I have a YouTube channel. I have about 3,500 subs, so I'm getting there. I just need some advice. Any tips? Do you use a green screen? Well, I mean, this is a green screen right here. And if you go look at any of my videos where I'm kind of off down in the corner and you see the website in the background, that is a green screen. If you look at Prime News episodes, like old Prime News episodes, I use a green screen for a vast majority of those as well. There's some that I didn't, but a majority of them I did. So, yes, I do use a green screen. In fact, I have an entire it's basically a closet now. My old office is turned into a storage room, and that whole room is painted green because the original plan was to use that as a green screen room, and then that just never came to fruition because I ran out of money trying to renovate this place to be exactly what I wanted it to be. So then it kind of never got to be exactly oh man, let me turn off. I don't really have to have this on. Where's my camera in here? Video capture device. All right, so let me turn this off here. So let's turn off the chroma key. All right, so as you see, this is a portable green screen behind me. Now I only have one of my lights on because I have a space heater plugged in and I ran out of outlets. So my other studio light is just sitting here, but I can't turn it on because I have to unplug the space heater. And right now it's only 60 degrees in my office, which is pretty chilly. So if I point over here, yeah, so you'll see back there that it looks like it's another green screen, because it is, but it's just like a sheet. Let me move the camera over here. You can kind of see like it's kind of pegged up on the wall. And that's where if I'm doing like a Prime News episode or anything that I need to stand for a green screen. This is a sitting green screen. It's good for live streams or for like the kind of videos I've been doing where I want the websites in the background and I just sit here and talk about what's going on. That green screen I use for when I want to stand. All my green screen's only pinned up, so if I want to take it down, I can pin it down, and then I have like a Mario. You guys see it in some of the older podcasts. It was like a Mario themed thing going on the wall. So like that's a background I can use. Obviously, I have the old gaming collection background over here, which has appeared in some videos, a couple videos recently. Over here is just like the TV and the main TV. There actually is a TV right here mounted on the wall that I use for live streams. It's basically the only purpose of that TV. And the office is a little messy. I got storage here. I got a mini fridge and a microwave. It's a little messy in here. Needs to be picked up a bit, but it's not too bad. It's been worse. So yeah. The thing is, like, don't... As cool as it is looking at all this, this wasn't my life as a YouTuber. When I first started doing any sort of videos on YouTube, it was literally a webcam in my bedroom at my parents, no, not at my parents' house, but at a dorm room, and then literally a webcam or like a laptop camera at that in my kitchen at the old apartment. Looking at what I have now and trying to model after that is not a good. It's not a good a good way to look at being a YouTuber, because this is more so an advancement of the success I've had as a YouTuber, leading to this. Now, this what used to be my children's playroom, the man cave, because yes, I had a man cave, has been converted into the children's playroom, and then I took over this room. And turned it into this office because it was connected already to the room I was using for my office, which was a little 7x7 room. What used to be my office. But yeah, don't look at this and be like, oh, I should model my channel after that. Like, you're 3,500 subs or whatever. Like, you just do what you can with what you got. Like, you can literally make every video on your phone if you want. I think what's more important is audio quality than anything. And you don't even need to go all out and get this. You can get, a $100 Blue Yeti mic this is what I used to use for years. You can use there's actually the Blue Snowball mic. I think is like $60. That one's perfectly fine. You can get little cheap lavalier mics for your phone. There's no need to go all out. Is basically what I'm saying. You do you, and you do what's best for you. So yeah. That's really all I have to say about that. Don't worry about the green screens and the fancy equipment and the studio lighting. And it's nice to get as good a lighting as you can, but just do the best of what you got. As I said, I used to do all my videos basically with a phone. So, yeah, I have a lot of equipment for a YouTuber that only gets 1,000 views per video now. Let's just say I used to be quite a bit more successful than I am right now. I kind of tanked my own channel. So I am a shining example of how to rapidly build a channel and then destroy it just as quickly as you built it. So I don't know that I would ever follow my example for anything when it comes to YouTube. Let's see here. Full-time YouTube or still looking for work? I am not full-time YouTube. No, I have another job. No, I do YouTube part-time. Let's see here. The new Sonic design is looking way better. Nice. Mario Kart 9 coming this year or next year based Switch. I have no idea. I hope this year, the Artisan, but I have no idea. According to the IDM, it also lists LA, I think New York. Okay, blah, blah, blah. BJ Holloman, what's going on, man? There is a new Yeti. I think it's called the Yeti Pro, Yeti X. Yeah, probably. I wouldn't be surprised. They had the Yeti Snowball and the Blue Yeti for so long that they're going to come up with a new product. But maybe that makes the old products. Some streamers started off their... Dude, not even streaming. I used to make standalone YouTube videos from laptop cameras. Laptop cameras are like the worst cameras to use. If you have any sort of cellular device and you're making a standalone video, absolutely use your cellular device. The cameras on cell phones are insanely good. Like, you don't even have to have, this is iPhone 11 Pro Max, whatever. You don't even have to have this. Like even a cheap $300, $200 smartphone will have a really decent camera. That's way better than a laptop. It's better than most webcams, to be honest. Unless you have a really high-end, like I said, the 4K Brio. That's a really, really nice one. But even then, the cameras on this phone are better than that. So, I'm saying, when you're really small, don't go out of your way to necessarily buy equipment unless you're doing well financially and everything. Obviously, feel free to invest in your passion and your hobby. I'm not gonna tell you not to do that. It's like saying, don't buy video games unless you can afford them. Dude, if you're doing well in life and you have a lot of spare cash, buy as many video games as you want. Whatever, it's your choice. You want to invest in and get equipment, be my guest. I'm just saying that don't. The equipment doesn't make the YouTuber. The YouTuber makes the YouTuber. So it's going to be all about the content you make. Yes, better cameras like this, or nice microphones like this, like in a mixer, that can all increase the quality of the sound and the image, but it doesn't necessarily increase the quality of the video. So, let's see here. Any other questions? We're getting a little bit short of the hour I was hoping to stream for, but now that my fiance is awake, I want to go make sure she doesn't need anything specifically. Um, I love you in Fight Club. Wonder if Nintendo will ever add a camera to the Switch. Can the right Joy-Con capture video if it had the software to support it? In theory, it could capture video. The infrared camera, just be really crappy video. Wouldn't really be considered usable, to be honest. Infrared cameras aren't exactly meant for that. Let's talk about pizza and pizza rolls. Oh, that poll I put up yesterday. Dude, there was so much like backlash over the video I put up yesterday that I'm like, okay. I don't even want to talk about games right now. Let's let's talk about something I'm thinking right now. Like I really barely even eat pizza or whatever. But I was debating between pizza and pizza rolls for my kids for dinner, and I was like, well, let me ask the crowd. Of course, pizza won out. My kids had pizza rolls. They preferred pizza rolls, but I think pizza rolls is definitely more of a kid thing. Like adults really prefer pizza, but sometimes kids really prefer pizza rolls. So, but yeah, people were not happy with my video yesterday. That's okay. You win some, you lose some. And that was definitely a lose some video. Lost a lot of subscribers. Pissed off a lot of people. What else is new? Made some mistakes. I wasn't perfect, of course. You know. But I don't think my video later today is going to be as controversial. So. It wouldn't be YouTube if I didn't piss off people once in a while. I can't wait for the final Fire Emblem Three Houses DLC. Dude, I can't wait to finally play Fire Emblem Three Houses. Going through Luigi's Mansion 3 now. Then I'll probably do Link's Awakening. Just because Link's Awakening shouldn't take me too long because I've played and beat that game a bunch of times on older platforms. But then finally might go through Pokemon Sword. I'm not sure. I haven't even started that yet. And then move on to Three Houses. We're adults. We always eat pizza. I do eat pizza rolls sometimes. I think not anymore. Like I'm on a new diet now, so I don't really eat a lot of this stuff anymore. Like today is gonna be one of the weird days because we're gonna be having Mexican for dinner. We're doing homemade quesadillas, which you can do kind of healthy, and mine are gonna be kind of healthy. I don't know if other people's are gonna be. And I'm doing some homemade Mexican rice that it's gonna be absolutely to die for. Can't wait. Like not everything about that is always healthy, you know. So, but whatever. I really like Mexican food, so it's kind of like my cheat day. I'm gonna have some. I mean, we're using chicken, so it's not like completely, you know, whatever. And I could just literally just have chicken tacos if I feel like it's gonna be too many calories for me to because how we're doing the quesadillas is we don't have like a quesadilla maker or anything. We're actually gonna do a little bit of oil and kind of pan fry them, which makes them absolutely to die for, but. You know, you're frying food, so like that's not exactly healthy. even using healthy oil, like it's not exactly healthy. So, we'll see what happens with that. But it should be it should be a good dinner. I'm looking forward to it. I'm eating light pretty much all day. Did I even eat yet today? I don't even think I ate yet today. So, I have to go get some apples and stuff. Pizzone, better than pizza. What's a pizza roll? Oh my gosh, I just Google it. Hot Pockets. Dude, I remember when I used to do the pizza roll, Hot Pocket, Bagel Bites. You guys remember Bagel Bites? Wait, are you supposed to pronounce it the L in quesadilla? I think most people, I think it's just called quesadillas, but I say quesadillas because it's funny. But I'm pretty sure you just say quesadilla. I don't know. I'm a filthy American and we mispronounce everything, so. Calzone. God, you guys talking about all this food I can't eat. Stop it. You're just making me hungry. Hot Pockets. Well, Hot Pockets, there's a lot of variety. Like, there's so many different kinds of Hot Pockets. If you find the right one, it's going to be better than a pizza roll. Sword and Shield, not the best games. I hope you enjoy them. But we'll see. It's my first mainline Pokemon game in forever that wasn't a Let's Go game. So, the closer you get to a calzone, the quality goes. Oh, let me bring that calzone in closer to me. Oh man, look at the quality of that calzone. Oh, that's great. Can you say pizza rolls is smaller versions of a pizzone? Kind of bite size. Yeah, you could argue that. You could argue they're like bite size. They're just not as good. Not even close to as good, to be honest, though. But yeah, you could argue they're kind of like bite size calzones. I could see that argument. They're just not even close to as good. Speaking of food, candy per se, Smarties are not the same in Canada and Europe. They're not the same in Canada and the U.S. Has a Y sound. Interesting. Learn something new every day. All right. Well, I think it's going to do it. I got to finish getting my other video ready to go up. It's going to probably go up at like an hour and a half from now. So look forward to that. Otherwise, I got to go help the old lady out. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you guys for not murdering me with too many personal life and or questions about my last video. I kind of had a fear today that I was going to get blasted with questions about Animal Crossing and questions about my life. Hopefully, if there's any questions about my life, that's saved for a stream where my lady's on the stream. So then she can actually give her perspective on things, or she might just tell you to shut up. I don't know. She can be kind of a wild card sometimes. You guys should know that from prior streams she's been on. And thank you for being kind about the Animal Crossing stuff. I thought for sure I was going to get blasted over the Animal Crossing stuff, and no one even brought it up. So thank you guys. All right. It's been real. It's been fun. See you guys in my next video, which is already recorded and rendered out. Literally just uploading, making the thumbnail, and it'll be up in an hour and a half. All right. See you guys. Peace out.